Hello everyone, welcome to A Lovely Yarn. My name is Amber and I am going to take you along with me this week as I attack my whip shelf. It is August 16th. I cannot even believe it. It is mid-August, which means fall is fast approaching. I still have one large summer project on the needles. I have a lot of socks. I have mittens. I have all kinds of whips. I have a whole variety of whips on my whip shelf, which I'm going to be showing you here in a minute. And I decided that I wanted to make it my goal for the rest of the month of August to clear off my needles as much as I possibly can. No more casting on. I am not allowing myself to cast on another project until I finish some of my whips. That means that I need to get to work because I really only have about 2 weeks of knitting before we hit September, and I want to be able to hit September with my needles, not all of them bare, that's not going to happen, I have way too many whips, but at least some of them bare and ready to go with some new fall projects. I also have some projects from last winter that I need to readdress, and this fall will be the perfect time. So yeah, let's just go to my whip shelf, which is where most of my works in progress are, and let's take a look. Okay. It's nothing fancy. It's just literally in my closet. And as you can see, it is shoved full. Just shoved. And I just have stuff shoved up here. It's really actually not very organized at all. But this is the majority of my whips. I also have some out in my living room. Those are the whips that I'm currently working on. I'm going to pull all these bags off my shelf. I'm going to go out and sit down on my couch in my living room, and I am going to go through these. We're going to look into these bags together, and I'm going to remember what exactly is in all of these bags. And then I'm going to decide if it's a project I'm going to keep or if I'm going to frog it. Okay, so there is my pile of my whip bags, and to be honest, I think I have more than this, but this is what was on my shelf and what was just around my house. Now, where am I gonna sit? I don't usually get to sit out in our main living space whenever I film podcasts because typically I'm not home by myself, but it is Sunday. Brad is at a meeting at our church. Lily is visiting my parents, her grandparents, and so it's just Tilly and I today. And so I went out and picked some tomatoes and some herbs, and I chopped them with some garlic, and I'm roasting a tray of tomato and garlic to make tomato soup or to put in the freezer to use as a sauce base later. And I thought this is the perfect time for me to sit down and go through all of my whip bags. Now, like I said, I do have a couple of crocheted Afghans that are not in this pile. They are downstairs in my studio room. I'm not going to count those because those kind of projects always are long-term projects for me. My main concern is what are my smaller projects, what garments, hats, socks, mittens, those kind of things, shawls do I have on my needles, which do I want to continue working on, which do I want to frog, because I want to start as fresh as possible when September hits. So my goal today is to assess my whips, decide what I'm doing with them, and then work on knitting those whips throughout the week. All right, so first up is, as you can see, this is a winter bag. I'm not going to tell you where all my bags are from, but this is from Noble Character Crafts. I don't even know if she makes project bags anymore. She does have a YouTube channel, but I started this project 2 winters ago, and my gosh, I hope I can remember the name of all of these projects. Oh gosh, I should grab my knitting journal. I'll be right back. Okay, so these are the Songbird Mittens by Erica Huser, and these are beautiful. My dog is chewing on a deer antler, so you're probably going to hear some of that in the background. If I can edit it out, I will. If not, it's real life It's real life in our house. So this is the first mitten. That is all the farther I've gotten. Like I said, I'm going into my second year of having these like on my needles. I am definitely not ripping this out. I want these, and so I'm going to work on them. I'm using the Woolly Thistle Rambler. It is a yarn that is produced for them. It's a mix of Dorset, Corriedale, and Gray Romney, and it's beautiful. I think this is like natural and then the Lupin colorway. So definitely not going to frog these. This is not a project I can work on when I am not able to concentrate. I have to be able to concentrate because the colorwork chart is constantly changing because it's going to be a picture of a bird on the front of these mitts. This is symmetrical colorwork back here. This is not. So this is why I have not gotten very far on these, because I would have to say a lot of my knitting is done when I'm around other people, and I have to be in a certain frame of mind and be able to focus when I'm working on these. Oh, this is nice because I opened up this bag and I realized this is my Vilma top that I actually already frogged. So yay, I don't have to make a decision about what's in this bag. Okay, next up we have a pair of socks. These socks I've also been working on for quite a while. These are the Heel Toe Do-Si Do socks by Kay Litton. I actually already have one sock completely done. Like it is completely finished. I think, yes, I even have the ends all woven in. This pattern has a really cool chevron detail down the front of it. And I'm knitting this in some sort of Regia or opal yarn. I don't remember, but it is a commercially produced yarn, and I don't have the paper for it to tell you what exactly it is, but this is what it looks like in the skein, and then knitted up. And look where I am. I am already past the hill flap, the hill turn, the hill gusset. Somebody just came home. Lily just walked into the house. I made her come over and say hi. Okay. Go to your room and shut the door. No, just kidding. I'll talk in front of you. It doesn't bother me. So yes, these I'm definitely not ripping out. I'm going to finish them. I'm going to make this a kind of a high priority. The problem with this pattern for me is that I have a hard time memorizing it. Once I work on it for a while, I do get the pattern repeat stuck in my head. But if I put it down for any extended period of time, like I'm talking several days, and then pick it back up, I have to read the pattern again. And that is why, because here's the thing with socks, I use socks as portable knitting projects that I take places with me so that I can keep my hands busy. For instance, I knit a lot at church, or if we go out, like if we go to someone's house and I'm just going to be sitting there and we're visiting, I will knit on a sock. Like I do my sock knitting in public places, but I want to be able to pay attention. So this is not that kind of sock project for me. I cannot easily memorize this, whereas the Blueberry Waffle socks or the Hermione's Everyday socks or the Austin socks, which is another pattern by Kay Litton and actually is a free pattern, those are all very easily memorizable for me, and then also very easy to read my knitting and just make it all make sense. I've not found that with this particular pattern, which is why these socks are taking so long to make. But I'm definitely going to finish them. They're going to be wonderful socks when I'm done. Tilly, I just need to focus and get these done. I think I want to make these a priority this week. Yeah, this is going to go into its own little pile of my like priority projects for the week. Okay, what do we have in here? Oh, another pair of socks. Okay, so this pair, oh, I don't remember what this pattern is called. Okay, let's grab the phone, get on Ravelry, get in my library, and find the name of this pattern. Stand by, friends. Okay, it took me a while. So this pattern is it is by the designer Drini, made by Inga. And this was gifted to me by the designer herself. a while ago, and I started it, and look how beautiful. Look at this beautiful stitch pattern. And I will link, by the way, to everything down below, or at least as much of it as I can. But I cast these on in the fall as we were going into the fall. Was it last year or the year before? That I don't remember for sure. But I'm using sock yarn from, is this the sock yarn I'm using? No, that's not the sock yarn. This is the problem with whips. Oh my, I don't even have the, how do I not have the tag for this yarn? Okay, so I don't have the tag for this yarn anymore. That is ridiculous. That's one of the problems with whips. I don't, because a lot of them have been in bags and setting for a while, I'm not going to be able to give all the details. I think this was like Fallen Leaves, and I don't remember the yarn dyer, but it's a tweed, and it was a fall, or maybe it was Autumn Leaves. It was a fall themed yarn. And so I had cast these on either last fall or the fall before, and because I thought, oh, this is perfect fall colors. So yeah, I need to get these. I need to make these a priority as well. They're beautiful socks. I use some sort of contrast for the cuff, and I'm looking in my bag, and you know what's really horrid is that I don't even have the contrast in the bag. Where did I put it? I don't even know. So chances are really good that I'm not going to be able to find it, or I've used it in a scrappy project, and so I'm going to have to make the other cuff mismatched, which is fine. And like the toe, I'm going to do the toe a different color. I will just pick some other color that I think would complement this sock. It is what it is, but they're beautiful socks, so I definitely don't want to frog these. I want to go ahead and continue and get these done. And I cannot remember the pattern off the top of my head, but I'm wondering if it also is one of those patterns where I have to focus a little bit, and that's why I haven't worked on it as much. Because there is a lot, it looks like there's a lot going on in there, but that can sometimes be deceptive. Okay, and then I have this. This is a more recent. I've shown these just recently. These are just my little Forethought heel socks. I have the one done. And this is the project that I have been taking with me places because I'm just knitting in stockinette. So this is how much I have of the second one. I worked on these actually this morning while I was in church. So yeah, this is also going to be another one of those projects. I think I'm going to hit the socks. I think all these socks are going into the hit hard this week pile right over here. Okay, so this, what is this? I think this, this is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. And this is what I used to make a kerchief for Lily last year. And I think I stuck this leftover yarn and the tag in the bag and stuck it on my whip shelf. And actually, there's nothing to be done with that. That kerchief is done. That yarn just needs to be stashed into my scrap bin and we can move on. So that's good. That does not have a project in it. Maybe I don't have as many projects as I thought. Okay, this is a kit that I had purchased from Susan B. Anderson. I love her. I love the yarn, Barrett Woolco yarn. I love that yarn. I've used it multiple times. This is for the Hopscotch Bunny. So I bought this kit last year and I have not cast anything on yet. I just have all the yarn in here. So this has not even been cast on. So I could actually take this and stick it downstairs in my studio closet where I keep kits. Like, I don't buy very many knit kits, but I every now and then I will. And most of the time, I have to be honest, they are from Barrett Woolco and they are for little stuffies. And so I think I may have another kit down there right now. Maybe I made that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to my studio. I'm going to put it in my little kit section of my closet and not even count this as a whip. I was going to cast this on right away, but then I didn't. So I'm just going to, for now, put it aside and we will go back to this at a later date. Okay, in this beautiful, gorgeous bag from Good Water & Co. I talked about this before. They make these lovely waxed canvas. This is one of their big ones. They make smaller ones as well. They make all kinds of things. I'll link them down below. But this is my Gramercy tea. And I am working on this, but it's to the boring stockinette part. Oh, no. I tried it on last night and I had it on barber cord and the barber cord came undone. Let me fix that. Okay, so I tried this on last night to see. I still have a lot to do. It looks really big. It's definitely going to be oversized. And because of that, I decided I'm going to make this long sleeved. I knit the size 3. I should have knit the size 2. I always do this. When am I going to learn? Sometimes I do it right, but a lot of times I feel like I knit the size that it says I should be, but then I end up needing the smaller size. I don't know if my tension and my swatch is tighter, and so I like get a more accurate swatch, and then when I start knitting, I get more relaxed. This is probably what happens because I don't like swatch knitting, so I'm probably like going really fast and tight and trying to just get through it, and then I get to the actual project and I chill out because knitting most of the time makes me feel relaxed. And so that's probably what happened with this and with a lot of the other projects that this same problem arises with. So I decided I don't want a big oversized baggy t-shirt. I'm going to do the long sleeve version. Hopefully I have enough yarn because this yarn was gifted to me by Purl Soho. I really want to get this done. This is a priority knit. It feels like I have a lot to do yet. But this is made out of the Cotton Pure, and I made this out of the Violet Orchid, and then the darker color is Wild Heather. But the fact that I'm going to make it long sleeve will also will extend its wear because I can then wear this throughout the winter. And honestly, I think a long sleeved cotton sweater is going to be more practical for me than a long sleeved wool pullover. Just because I get hot very quickly and easily. And so this will be good. Another thing I noticed when I tried this on last night is that V-neck is super deep on me. So I'm probably not going, I don't know. I feel like I might have to wear a cami or a t-shirt underneath this whenever, or even like a button-down shirt with a collar. That would also look really cute. I am going to be adding in a ribbed like a ribbing section on this neckline, so that will draw it up some. And so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and add that because that's also going to help me decide on my final length because it will cinch everything in. Honestly, the reason I haven't done that yet is because I don't want to break the contrast yarn. I've been working my way up or I've been working my way through by twisting the yarn where I change. Here, let me show you. Okay, see that? This is another thing I'm cotton, when you do stripes in cotton and you do like the jogless stripes, or when you're doing any manipulation of the yarn behind the fabric, like I'm twisting my contrast color up the main color, you can see every imperfection in cotton yarn, which kind of bothers me. That like wool blooms when you block it, it hides things better than cotton. So this, I'm not gonna lie, this is under the one arm and it's where I'm twisting up my contrast color and you can see like some stuff going on there. But we're just going to ignore it. I stare at it and it bothers me and then I think, what are you gonna do about it now? Not going to rip it out. And it's just the way, for me, I have not found a way to, like, it's just what happens when I use cotton yarn if I'm going to be doing stripes. So, why did I show you that? I don't know. I think this would also be a really fun shirt to make in the Purl Soho Good Wool. I actually have a light blue and a mossy green color that I think would be really nice in this, but I have not decided if I'm going to do that yet because I just want to get this one done first. So this needs to be a priority knit as well. And as I was saying, since I decided to make it long sleeve, I may end up having to just buy another skein of the main color because this is all I've got left. I was gifted 3 skeins of the main color and then 1 skein of the darker color. and I'm on my second skein, and it's pretty much all, I'm getting pretty low on it. I haven't weighed it to see how much is left, but then I have a whole other skein to do the sleeves, but like I still need to make this a lot longer. It is basically right now when I try it on, it is to my belly button, which I have a high belly button because I have a short torso. So it's definitely very cropped and not long enough, at least not long enough for me. This one goes to my priority knitting pile. I've had multiple viewers ask me about this next project because I was working on it in the winter and early spring, and then I stopped working on it when spring came, and I was all into like summer knitting and cotton yarn knitting and all that. But this pattern is the Smoke Show Vest, and it is by Thea Coleman. This pattern's by Thea Coleman. I am knitting this in, what am I knitting this in? Pearl Soho. Gosh, why do I not have, oh, here we go. I can pull this out. Okay, Pearl Soho Hedgerow, which is a merino, cashmere, and mulberry silk mix, and I'm using the Heirloom White colorway. This is a cabled, all over cabled vest, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to figure out where I am in this pattern. So it's knitted from the bottom up. This is how far I've gotten. Here's the back. Here's the front with the ribbing. The ribbing is knitted in as you go. You make your buttonholes as you go, which is nice. And so I'm not going to rip this out. I want to finish this. I just need to sit down and look and see where exactly I am in the chart, in the cabling chart, and then pick this back up. It's not hard. It's not hard cabling. It's just, it is hard for me. I get slightly overwhelmed thinking about having to figure out where I left off. And I did not, nope. I saw I had written something on the chart. I thought maybe I wrote start here because sometimes I do that, but I did not do that this time. I have heard other podcasting knitters say, I thought I would remember where I was, and I do the same thing. It's like, I'm going to remember that. I don't know why I would think I was going to remember that because my memory, definitely not ripping this out. We will get started on this, and this will be fine to knit in the fall because it is a very woolly yarn. I would say it feels more rustic. I've never used this yarn before. I have a feeling that when I wash it, it's really going to bloom. I washed my swatch, which is downstairs in my studio. That's how I know that. I was like, why would I think that? Because I washed my swatch. I had to swatch a couple times to get the right gauge for this sweater. Or for this vest. Okay, this is a newer cast on that I just talked about. These are my biscuit socks by Fluffy Fibers, and this is Peyton's Croy yarn in the plum colorway, and this, so that's like a sport weight yarn. This is a DK weight pattern, but Peyton's Croy, I feel like it's like a heavier sport. And then this is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed. I don't remember the color. Moss Heather, I think is what it is. And it is fingering weight, so I'm holding it double. And yeah, this is the first one. They're a bit shorter. They're going relatively fast because this pattern, first of all, is really easy to memorize. I don't have to carry my pattern with me. I can read my knitting and see where I'm at. And then because it's like a DK weight, it goes pretty fast. So we're gonna keep forging on with these ones. I said that I'm not counting any Afghans or blankets in this, but I'm gonna show you this one because I plan on working on this throughout the coming fall and winter, and I'm actively working on it now. And this is my Cozy Memories blanket. I have done quite a bit on this month. So, oh my gosh, I just love this thing. I just get so happy when I look at it. I'm adding in this really pretty bright orange color next to this. I love it next to this pink. I need an orange and pink sweater. Anyway, so gonna keep working on this one for sure. This project is definitely one of those knitting projects that is making me feel very happy and fulfilled. And it's so simple. I don't have to think. The only reason I don't carry this with me places is because it's getting bigger now. Like it's not huge. I mean, it's not huge. It's just that when I'm knitting in public, I don't want it to be like overly obvious that I'm knitting sometimes, you know? So that's why I usually take socks. This is a bit too big for me to take out in public with me when I knit. Plus, you know, I have to carry around this bag. Yeah, so I'm basically just working on this at home when I want some easy comfort knitting. Okay, I have one last whip that I already know I'm going to frog this. And it is a hat pattern by Andrea Mowry. I'm knitting it in Peace Fleece. Oh, look what I just found. That is the contrast color to those intertwined socks. Yay. Okay. What are these? What is this hat called? It's brioche. I'm going to have to look in my pattern library on Ravelry because I cannot remember what this pattern is called, and I don't have the pattern in the bag. Brad just got home, by the way. Okay, this pattern is called the Harlow Worsted hat. And as I said, I am knitting it in Peace Fleece. I think it's like Lauren's Coral and Morning Dove. So here we go. The reason I'm frogging this is because I realized I don't like this pattern anymore. And I don't really like this yarn being used with this pattern. I mean, it is really pretty, but it's gonna make too chunky of a hat for my liking. I don't like such chunky knits anymore. And let me show you a picture of it. I don't honestly like the shape of that. I don't like how it sticks up like that on the top of the head. So I am frogging this for sure. There's no question in my mind that's what I want to do with this. Okay, and then this is not like a knitting project, but it's a knitting project that I've already knitted and I need to mend. So this is gonna happen this week. I'm going to sit down and mend these socks because they are my mom's. These are socks that I have made her in the past. She likes shorty socks, so they're 2 pairs of shorty socks, and she gave them to me because they have holes in them. They have holes in the heels, and so I just need to do some mending on these, and then I can get them back to her. And I've had these since spring. So I think that since we're getting into the time of the year where we're going to be wearing socks again, I would like for her to have these. And honestly, I just haven't. When I have to do my mending, I usually just get a huge pile of it and then I sit down and I do it all at once. And I did that last fall, I think. I did it not too long ago. I mended all of the socks in the house that needed mended, and there were quite a few. And so when my mom gave me these, I wasn't like really in the mood to mend, but I'm going to do it because like I said, it's middle of August. She's going to be into sock wearing again, and I want her to have these. Okay, so those are all of my whips, at least the ones that I found today. I probably have other whips hiding downstairs. I'm gonna just take you along with me this week as I work on these, and then at the end of the week so let's say on Friday, because that's when I usually edit my podcast, I'm going to show the progress that I have made on each project so we can see how good I did. Now, I do have a busy week this week, so that is unfortunate as far as knitting time, but I'm gonna see because this is real life. I want to see how much I can get done, and I do have at least one appointment where I'm going to be sitting there waiting for quite a while, so I will be able to knit during that time. We're gonna run with it. We're gonna see how much knitting I can get done this week.
eyes upon. When you wake while you lie sleeping, when the working day is done. Through the windy, wild and barren, over mountain pass once more, I would sail the wide blue ocean if it would land me on your shore. Weary eyes, come look upon her, leave your troubles at her feet. When you're called unto the yonder to sing the joyful chorus sweet. All the earthly flowers are blooming in her everlasting light. 'Tis the time to greet the morning. Come now, step out of the night. Lay me down in heather purple, lay me down in fields of green. She will send the soft rain falling, wash my soul and my body clean. In the moonlight on the ocean, in the music of the bell, there I find a sweet devotion, stronger than the highest scale.
Okay, time for the midweek check-in, and I have made progress. I have progress to share with you. I am so excited. I wasn't sure because this has been one heck of a week. I have been super busy. I wasn't sure how much progress I would have, but let me show you. I actually finished 2 projects, which is absolutely amazing. It is Wednesday today. I think it's like the 18th or 19th. I think it's the 19th of August, maybe. I only have a few minutes because I have dinner and then I have a class at church tonight. So I'm going to just squeeze this in real quick. I want to show you my progress. So I had told you at the beginning of the week on Sunday when I started filming that I was going to have a pile of high priority knits that I wanted to work on this week. I have finished one of those, and then I found another almost finished sock project that was literally in my living room, and I completely missed it when I was gathering up all of my projects, but I'm sure you understand how that happens. So first of all, let me show you, wait, which, is this the right? Yes, okay. These are my shorty socks, the Forethought heel, and I even ended up ripping out the purple heel that I had put in these because I realized at some point after filming on Sunday, I was looking at this heel, and even when I had knitted it, I remember thinking, this yarn feels really silky, and I'm not sure what the content is of this. And then I started to remember, and I still cannot figure out what I made with this. I haven't looked in my project drawer though. I should do that. But anyway, I thought, I don't think this is a good heel yarn. I'm pretty sure this has no nylon in it. It feels way too silky smooth. I don't even know what it is. So I thought it would be the best thing to do would be to rip it out. So I cut that heel out and I put in this new one using some, I think this is Sweet Mountain Crafts yarn, a mini skein I had from her. She and I had done an Advent an Advent exchange one year, and this was one of the mini skeins that she had sent me. And I actually love this yellow color way more than I liked the purple. So these are done and they can go in my drawer. I think, so these fit me really, really well, but I haven't decided if I'm going to keep these for myself or if I'm going to gift them to somebody. So put that aside. Then this is the next project. I've talked about this before back in the very early spring, maybe even the end of winter, because they were my husband's birthday socks and his birthday was in April. I had them almost completely done and then I never finished them. They have been sitting on top of my television armoire for months. No kidding. No joke. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. Oh, by the way, both of these bags are from Olivia of This Handmade Life. I love her bags so much. I don't know if she currently has bags in her shop. Actually, I think she just did a very small autumn update with some autumnal bags. You can go check her out. I'll try to remember to link her shop down below in the show notes. But these are the socks I'm talking about. And this yarn is from Sweet Mountain Crafts. I bought this sock set a while ago. It is DK weight and it came with the main color, which is from the Nest set. This is her DK sock base, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And she hand dyes this yarn. So this is the contrast, and I ran out of contrast color and I had that much left of the main color. So I just had to finish off the toe with the main color, which is not a big deal. My husband will not care. So the tip of this toe has some accent color. Let me show you side by side. Not a biggie. I do need my husband to try these on again though, because I finished these yesterday. So Monday, so you will have seen some footage of my week, my week in knitting, and I have knit so many different places this week. Monday, I was knitting at our local county fair. So we went to the concert they had Monday night, and my son Ian plays on, well, he's a worship leader at one of the campuses of our church, the church we attend. And so he was playing at the concert. The worship bands from the various campuses of our church get together every August and they perform at the county fair. They open up for the main band. And so we always go and watch the concert and stuff. So anyway, I took my knitting there and I did a little bit of knitting there. And then yesterday, which was Tuesday, my dad had to have a procedure done at the hospital. And so we were there from 6:30 to 2:30, I think. And so I got the majority of this knitting. In fact, that's where I finished both pairs of socks. And then I really didn't do any more knitting. Wait, that's a lie, because I think I did. Yes, I came home from, came home from that with my dad and my husband was going to be helping my son with some stuff at their house. So Lily and I went back to the fair and we got dinner and we walked through the animal barns, because I am not a fair person. I'm really not a fair person. I typically only go to see Ian because he has done that every year for a very long time. And the concert that comes after is, sometimes I'll watch it. Actually, this past Monday, I came home after. I came home. Everyone else stayed, but I came home. And it was because mostly I had to get ready very early. We had to leave very early the next morning for my dad's procedure. So I wanted to come home, pack my food, pack my knit bag. You know, you gotta make sure you have all your knitting, and some books, and like get a shower, like all that stuff. So I came home after I finished watching Ian play. So when I got home yesterday from the hospital, Lily and I went back to the fair and we got dinner and then we walked through all of the animal barns, which was really fun. I actually do often do that every year. I love to look at the animals. My favorite actually are the goats. I love the goats. We used to own goats. If I were ever to get any kind of livestock animal again, we would get goats again. We've owned alpacas, goats, rabbits, Angora rabbits, and Holland lops. We've had lots and lots of chickens over the year. We've had cats. Now we have one dog. We have rehomed all the other animals, or they have since passed on. We don't have any intentions of getting any more animals. In fact, we took down all the pasture fencing this past year and used it to reconfigure our garden area. So we were able to reuse all that, which was fantastic. We don't plan on getting more animals, but if we were to ever get livestock animals again, or farm animals, my husband and I already agree that we will definitely get goats. Goats are just so entertaining. They're basically like dogs in so many ways. We love goats. So I enjoyed the goat barn, but we saw all of them. We saw the cattle, we saw the pigs, the goats, the horses. I think that was all that was there. Anyway, and then I came home, got a shower because I was covered in allergens and I kind of smelled like a farm. And then I sat here on the back deck and I knitted for a while more on these socks here. And I'm almost done. I'm so excited. So these are my heel-toe do-si-do socks. This is a pattern by Kay Litton, or otherwise known as the Crazy Sock Lady. She also has a YouTube channel. Here I think she does mostly sock knitting, or she does I think the majority of her knitting is sock knitting, or at least it used to be. But this was my first sock. So I already had this one going into the challenge of this week. And here is my second sock. I have knit, I should have marked it with a progress keeper. Let me see, where did I have knit from here the whole way down to here. Between yesterday, because I started this at the hospital and then I kept working on it last night, and then I had to go I had to go with Brad today to do some allergy testing. I didn't have to go, but I went with him to keep him company because it was a 45-minute drive to the doctor's office. And so I just went and hung around because he had to be there for like an hour and a half. I took this project with me. So between last night and today, I was able to get this much done. And I even did a little bit of working on this while walking Tilly this morning. So I feel excellent about the progress that I have made. I have not worked on anything else this week. I've just exclusively been focused on these socks. Once I finish this one up, I think what I'm going to do is work on my Gramercy sweater, because I'd really like to get that finished up. And I have such exciting fall knitting plans. I'm not going to share it yet, but I have yarn. I have the patterns. I am so excited about my fall knitting plans this year. But again, mum is the word for now. We will get there when we get there. I'm just not quite ready. I'm not casting on my fall stuff yet, because I need to get this stuff done. But September comes, we're going to be on that, and I will be sharing all of that fun stuff with you guys. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up because I need to go make dinner, and I'm going to be gone all this evening at a class, so I will not be doing any more knitting today. So perhaps I will come back to you all Friday morning, because I spend all day Friday editing these videos, so it's going to be whatever I get done between now and Friday morning. I'll do a little wrap up on Friday, and then it is what it is. We'll see what I got done this week. Okay, bye. It is Friday. I'm sitting in my regular podcasting place here in front of my yarn shelves, and I'm going to give the wrap up for the week. Now, I already told you and showed you what I had previously finished. I think I did that on Wednesday. Yeah, because I didn't film very much yesterday. So I'm not going to go over those things already because I finished 2 pairs of socks, I believe, the shorty socks, and then something else. Oh, the birthday socks for Brad that I had forgot about. So I'm going to show you my progress on my other projects. I finished another pair of socks, the heel toe do-si-do. I have the project bag, but the socks are not in the project bag. So hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. So here they are. Yay. I'm so happy with them. 2 pairs finished, and I had said earlier in the week that I have a really hard time memorizing this pattern, like keeping it stuck in my head. But I think that's only a problem if I'm not working on them frequently, because once I focused on these socks this week, I did not have to refer to the pattern after, I don't know, probably 6 rounds, maybe something like that. So this front panel with the chevron is what I'm talking about. The rest of it is just stockinette, but this is the part that would always hang me up, so I wouldn't take this out when I worked and like when I took projects to, I don't know, when I was out in public, because I needed to be able to focus. But just consistently working on these throughout the week, I realized I would make this pattern again. It was not as bad as my mind was making it out to be. Okay, then I picked up the intertwined socks, and look at how much I have done of these. I'm doing the toe decreases. This is the first sock, but when I started it, I think I was just done I was working on the instep of the sock, and so it's coming along great. Now I'm using a different contrast for the toe than I did for the cuff, even though they look very similar. But this one is actually Hawthorn, so it's a Knit Picks. So it's Hawthorn something or other. And then for the top, I actually don't know. This was a mini skein that I got at some point. And I found the tag for this beautiful yarn. And I don't know if this dyer still dyes yarn or not, but it is a Busy Life. That's the name of the company. And the yarn was called I Love Fall. And I think I showed this in a clip. But this is 80% superwash merino and 15% of the Tweedy Nep. But look how pretty. This is actually a very easy pattern to memorize, and you get such a beautiful, it kind of reminds me of the Simple Skip socks. You get such a beautiful texture to it. So I'm almost done with the toe decreases on that, and then I will be casting on the second sock. So I finished 3 pairs of socks this week, which I am so happy about. I guess I did more knitting. I got more done than I thought I was going to. On Sunday, when I was looking at my calendar and looking ahead of the week, I thought, oh my gosh, I think the reason I got so much done was because when I was at the hospital on Tuesday, we were there, I think it was 8 hours or something. Yeah, it was 8 hours. And so I didn't have anything to do but to sit there and knit. And so that really took a big chunk out of my goals for the week and enabling me to reach those goals. So yes. Great. Oh, one other thing I worked on. I said I was going to work on my grammar CT. Didn't touch it. But I did pull out, for a little bit last night, I pulled out my Cozy Memories blanket, and I finished adding the pink. And then I added this really pretty bright orange color. And then the next color I'm casting on is it's the beach ball colorway from Barnyard Knits that I knit my socks on recently. Or I knit with my socks. I knit into socks. that was the yarn that got me back into sock knitting. It was such a good colorway, and I just now I'm really just wanting to knit socks. It's really strange because last year I just wanted to knit sweaters. This year I have plans for actually 3 different sweaters for this fall, but I also have lots of plans for socks. So we'll see what actually happens. But this has been a wonderful knitting companion. I love working on this project. And it's so quick just to put a square on. Okay, so I have an index card front and back of everything that I talked about throughout this entire podcast, so throughout the week. So I'm going to link everything down below, including patterns, yarn that I mentioned, podcasts that I mentioned. So if you're looking for something that I mentioned, just look down in the video description. And let me see if I made some other notes here. Did I want to say anything else? Because it's funny because I've been filming this over the entirety of the week. So yeah, no, that's it. The only other thing I wanted to say is I shared the book series that I'm listening to on my Libby app, and I am on the 8th volume of that particular series, and it is the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. If you love Victorian era fiction, think Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, think those type of books, you must check out these books. Do you hear Tilly? They are amazing. Now I'm listening to them, and the narrator, I actually recommend listening to them. I think that they are, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I would really like them reading them, but I think the reason I'm enjoying them so much is because the narrator is amazing. Who is the narrator? Genevieve somebody or other. But the author, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that because she's amazing. She's an amazing narrator, but her first name is Genevieve, and I cannot quickly find the information for her last name. But she's the narrator for these books, and the author of the books is Beth Brower, and I heard that she is currently writing the 9th volume, and I'm so excited because I'm on the last one. Now, I have noticed that for me, I've had to put a lot of these audiobooks on hold and wait for them, but I have to tell you, it is well worth it. They are so good. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be really sad when I'm finished with them all. Like when I finish volume 8, I'm going to be sad because who knows when volume 9 will actually come out as an audiobook. It's like it's such a soothing, peaceful, fun, witty series. I've loved it so much. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Okay, so that is my wrap up. I'm happy. I am very happy with the progress that I made this week. Can't complain about it at all. I love finishing up those projects. It's amazing. 3 pairs of socks finished. Love it. Anyway, that's all for this week. So I hope you enjoyed this. It was a little bit different. It was kind of a mix of show and tell, projects, and then a little bit of vloggy stuff too. Just taking you guys along with me as I knit throughout the week in the various places. And I did knit in a lot of different places this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want more of this cozy knitting chat type of content, and enjoy your knitting. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.